You know the moment. The leash comes off the hook, and your dog, the one who sleeps on your feet, the one who is gentle with children, becomes something else entirely. Pulling, lunging, fixated, like a different animal wearing your dog's face. It is not excitement. It is a neurological shift, and it starts the moment the clip closes. Here is what is actually happening. The moment physical restriction begins, a dog's brain does not register a walk, it registers a threat environment. Not excited, defensive. Cortisol spikes within seconds of tethering. Research on canine stress hormones found that physical restraint alone, without any external trigger, is sufficient to activate the stress response. Before the door opens, before another dog appears, before anything happens at all. And a second finding from behavioral research showed something that should change how every owner thinks about the leash. We will get there. But first, the bubble.
Every animal has a critical distance, a zone of space around the body that, if breached, triggers a defensive response. In dogs, this zone is not fixed. It expands and contracts based on one thing. Can I leave if I need to? When a dog can move freely, the critical distance shrinks. Escape is available. The zone relaxes. When a dog is tethered, the critical distance expands dramatically because escape is no longer available. The leash shrinks the dog and expands the threat. This is why the same dog who passes other dogs off leash without interest erupts on leash at the same dog from twice the distance. It is not temperament. It is geometry, the math of restricted movement.
Now the chemistry. Cortisol is not the only player. Restriction also activates the sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, or freeze, but with flight removed as an option. Fight or freeze. Those are the only two left. What gets activated next is called predatory drift, a state in which arousal climbs past the threshold where social behavior is still possible. The dog is no longer reading social signals. It is no longer capable of reading them. The social brain has gone offline. This is why verbal commands stop working, why the dog does not respond to its name, why owners say, "It was like they couldn't hear me." They couldn't, not because of disobedience, because the part of the brain that hears you had been replaced by the part that survives, a different species, temporarily.
Here is the second finding, the one that changes everything. The leash is not just a physical tether, it is a communication channel, and it runs in both directions. Your dog reads the leash, not the environment, the leash. Research on cortisol synchrony between dogs and owners found that owner anxiety transfers to the dog faster than any external trigger does. When you see another dog approaching, your hand tightens on the leash, imperceptibly, involuntarily. Your dog feels that tightening before they have even located the other dog. You signaled the threat before they saw it. This is not a criticism. It is physics. The leash does not lie.
Here is the paradox that most owners live with. The dog that lunges at every dog on the street is often, at the dog park, completely fine. Same dog, same other dogs, completely different operating system. Off-leash, the dog can curve, can slow approach, can look away, can use every social tool it has. On-leash, those tools are gone. The straight-line approach is mandatory. The distance cannot be managed. The social signals that say, "I am not a threat, let us negotiate," cannot be sent. Leash reactivity is not aggression. It is frustration with no language left. 3 things owners do in that moment. All 3 feel right. All 3 make it worse. First, tighten the leash. The instinct is to hold on, but a tighter leash confirms the threat. The dog reads constriction is danger. Second, pull backward. Pulling against a forward-fixated dog increases oppositional reflex. The harder you pull back, the harder they pull forward. Third, Verbal reassurance during the arousal. It's okay, good boy. At that cortisol level, your voice reads as excitement, not comfort. You are narrating a threat, not dissolving one. If this is useful, subscribe, hit the bell, and if you know someone who walks a reactive dog, send this to them. Now, what actually helps? You cannot talk a dog out of predatory drift. You can only work below the threshold where the shift has not happened yet. That threshold is different for every dog. Your job is to learn where yours is. 3 tools. Simple, specific. 1. Distance is your only currency. Before the fixation begins, create space, not after, before. 2. The U-turn, not a correction, a direction change. Before threshold, turn and walk the other way. No drama, no command, just different direction. 3. The leash tells the story. A loose leash at the moment another dog appears is the most powerful signal you can send. No threat, I am calm, you can be too. The leash comes off the hook, the clip closes. What happens next is not your dog's fault. It is not a training failure. A brain in a body that cannot move freely, doing exactly what brains do in that situation. Now you know what is happening. You can change what happens next. Does your dog have a threshold distance? Tell me what it looks like in the comments.